You need to learn how to train your emotions. Most of the things that you're struggling in life are due to you not being able to control your emotions. Your emotions is the reason why you succeed. Your emotions are your reason why you fail. Everything is connected to your emotions. When you find a way in every situation, when you lead by your emotions, you mess things up. Find a way to lead mentally, right? There will be times where you will need your emotions to manipulate a situation, but if you acting out of emotions, firstly, you won't be able to fully hear what the other person is saying. Secondly, you won't be able to fully comprehend what is coming out of your mouth. Thirdly, you've given up your power. I always say in every predicament, in every situation, the person who has the most power is the person that's asking most of the questions, who's doing the question asking versus the person who's answering. And that's why I always say when you're encountering a person for the first time, whether it's dating or whatever, find yourself in a predicament where you talk less and you listen more. Firstly, this gives your brain the opportunity to comprehend what's really going on. It gives you the time to respond in a timely fashion without you responding for survival. And every time, that's why I say you need to find a way to make you feel superior in a situation so that you feel that you have your nerves under control. Your nerves are very linked with your emotions, okay? Because you have to feel some type of way for you to start getting nervous. Those things go hand in hand. So when you give someone that ability to make you feel nervous, you've given them the upper hand in every predicament. And slow down, listen. You slowing down and processing what's being said doesn't make you weak, doesn't make you stupid, doesn't make you vulnerable. It just makes you self aware. So, in every time, you need to ask yourself, am I responding emotionally or am I responding logically? And it's known that women always respond in an emotional way, and that's why most of our emotions are manipulated 90% of the time. And when you surprise a man or a person by responding in a mental way, in a rational way, it's very surprising, especially when someone's trying to trigger you. When someone's able to trigger you, they're able to, what's the actual word? They're able to ruffle some emotions. And when someone is able to trigger you and ruffle your emotions, then that person has an upper hand on you. It's sad to know and it's sad to hear, but that's just how it is. And this is why I always say, even when you are dating, find yourself in predicaments where the person likes you more than you like them. Because when you are willing to walk away from the person, it just shows you that whoever is willing to walk out first is the person that has the upper hand in the predicament. The person who's always asking questions versus the person who's talking more is the one that is showing is more present in the situation. And if you are more present, you're able to hear more, you're able to understand more, and you're able to pick up on unspoken cues. This is a form of emotional intelligence. Not many people have it. What people do is they just want to engage and prove to the person that they're worthy of communicating with. Sometimes you don't have to sell yourself. If a person agrees to sit down with you on a date, on a conversation, whatever it is, there's a reason why they've already chose that situation. There's a reason why they've already chose to interact with you. So you don't have to show off and show out and prove a point to them that you're worthy of their couple of minutes. You don't owe anyone anything. Worse, you don't owe anyone an emotional reaction. So, in every time you slow down, every time you think logically, and every time you process what's being said to you, you're most likely to be able to be in charge of the conversation. You're most likely to be able to control the direction of the conversation. You might most likely to be able to listen to your intuition. You're most likely to be able to pick up on the cues when someone tells you something. All right, because I can say to you, I have $1,000,000, but there will be some fidgeting and some movement in my body. There's someone there who's patient and watches and is intuitively linked or able to detect. No, that's not true. She might want to be a millionaire, but currently that's not her status. So those are some of the things you need to watch. And even when you're dating, when a man says to you, hey, I really love you, I want to do this, you need to take a step back. Try by your level best, because here's what happens with human nature. Everybody wants to be chosen. It's like a form of validation that someone chooses you. And that's why when relationships don't work out, you feel like you're being rejected. It's not that you're being rejected. It's just that you've given someone that power to validate you. But if you validate yourself, you control your emotions, you're able to be more present, meaning listen and talk less. A lot of the questions that you ask people about your situation, you would have answers for. Because by the time someone acts out, they've already showed you multiple times that this is what they're about. But you've ignored your intuition. You've spoken in moments where you should be listening. And you've been so in your emotions that you have not even paid attention to when someone is giving you very clear and precise cues. So slow down. Be more present. Allow people to show you who they are without you judging and putting emotions to it. Step back. And when they do, accept it. Don't gaslight yourself. Let people be who they are so you can make decisions for yourself. And being chosen doesn't mean you've won. If you are still waiting to be selected, then you've already lost. You need to get to a point in life where you do the selecting. You get to hire and fire people in your life. Who's worthy to stay in, who should leave. Because one thing I've realized, there's just one life. And if you settling just to settle, you're destroying yourself. So these are some of the things you need to think about when you are compromising your own mental health. Because when you allow someone to trigger some emotions, when you give someone that emotional power, you've compromised your life significantly. And then you need to ask yourself, at that moment when you allow someone to trigger you, you've chosen them over yourself. You've given them your life force over yourself. So basically, here's a gun, and you said to the other person, no, you can shoot me and you can live. That's how detrimental emotional control is. So it's so important just to step back. Sometimes just be quiet. It doesn't mean, here's the thing, a lot of people feel like if you don't snap back immediately, then you've lost the battle. No. The war, I mean. Sometimes you can lose the battle, but you win the war. And sometimes losing the battle means you just being quiet at that moment. Giving yourself time to process and think and be ahead of the person. But the more emotions you show, the less respect you will get from people. It's hard to respect someone who's emotional, who doesn't think logically. Because instantly in your head, you're like, if you can't control your emotions, what are the odds of you being able to control anything? So these are some of the things you need to ask yourself. Do you operate emotionally? And if you are, how has that been working for you? And if it hasn't, then you need to find a way to control those emotions. You're basically like a toddler who throws tantrums. So you are going to be categorized as a toddler. Get a hold of those emotions. Men use emotions to manipulate women. Just like how women use sex to manipulate men. But if you get a grip of your emotions, you tend to surprise them. They never know where it's coming from. And they never know how to respond to someone who is emotionally intelligent. Because that's literally what it is. Control your emotions. Become emotionally intelligent. Do your research on how to do it. All right, I'll see you guys next time.